Welcome back to the channel. I follow several kinds of other channels. I tend to watch things that I don't always agree with, and I also even watch things that I rarely agree with, especially if they're just good arguments and interesting in some way. And one of those is the American YouTuber, streamer Asmongold. He is interesting, but he does struggle with some things, and one of those things is the arrogance of being smart, because he is obviously smart. He is fairly well knowledgeable about things, but he does struggle with understanding source criticism, because he tend to act like a useful idiot. And for those of you who don't know what a useful idiot is, it is a person that, unbeknownst to them, aid and help people with an agenda or just a general bad cause of something. Someone has an agenda and they want you to spread the information about it. And he does this frequently. He does this with things related to Trump. He tend to spread a lot of information that portrays Trump in a good light and not so much the bad things. He claims to be very unbiased and objective, but I kind of don't think that's the case, especially since he very rarely bring up really bad things about Trump, unless it is about another topic he values highly, like the Epstein files and so on. And you inadvertently, when you do this, tend to help a person with their agenda. So in many cases, I would argue that Asmongold is probably one of Trump's better aids, better propaganda instruments. Doesn't matter if Asmongold wants this or not, because he brings this false image of being objective to the table, of being, critical and so on. But he's not. He is, and I must point this out, his social media managers, whatever they are called, those who edit and those who cut the videos and those who set the headlines and so on, they are also part of this. He portrays an image that is beneficial to Donald Trump, for sure. For the simple reason that he makes it sound like he is criticizing him, while that very rarely happens if you look at his videos. And I do look at his videos. I follow him on YouTube and see the highlights of them, and YouTube is by far his biggest reach. I mean, the others, Kick and Twitch, I'm sorry, but those are for the fans of him already. The highlights, the very few people go in there who are not already interested in him, in his topics and his things. But YouTube, on the other hand, you have a fairly big reach there. So whatever you say there can reach a lot of people. It is video on demand, for example, and it's not just the random live stream. So his reach there is very big within politics, and he takes no responsibility in this, which is, doesn't have any obligation to do this, but he doesn't seem to care. He doesn't seem to care that his videos are seen by millions each time, and that he's a power figure. I mean, obviously, people like Elon Musk watch him, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other big top people do. So that makes him a perfect candidate, a perfect example of what I mean when you don't take responsibility of what you say and what you hint and what you kind of insinuate. Let's put it that way. Doesn't matter if you say one thing and the rest of you chose another side. It's what the majority of you portray. It's that what becomes your image. So in recent days he has been posting not about Trump, but because I don't care about Trump, as long as not foreign topic for his foreign policies, because those affect me. What happens in the United States, I'm sorry, but that's your fucking problem in America. But he's starting to comment on a lot of topics related to other nations, and he's taking these videos from dubious sources that, if you want to show something bad about a place, it's not hard. Each place has a bad story to tell. Each place has problems. There's not a single place on the planet that doesn't have problems. But if all you do is show example of the problems, you will get a misrepresentation of how the things are. And if you are inclined to have a belief, a certain, ideology, you will tend to look at things that confirm this, that confirm your bias. That's just how we work. That's how I work. That's how everybody works. It's very hard to be actually objective. It is, I would say, it's utopia, basically. Ain't gonna happen. We will all fall into this trap constantly. Things that confirm our biases. And he does this with videos showing how things are falling apart in various places of the world. I've seen him do this with videos about the UK lately. Grooming gangs and rape gangs that harass women and so on. And this becomes a topic. This becomes a problem. Sure, it is a problem. No denying about it. But the things he creates, the story he creates, and those people behind these clips, is that it kind of creates a worse scenario than what we're really seeing. I mean, that's the cherry picking of stories. If you constantly pick stories that portray a thing badly, you're going to see examples of that constantly. Because that is how the YouTube algorithm works. It will strengthen your biases severely. So it will end up that you think you are seeing a truth that a lot of people in quote-unquote mainstream media won't. Well, in reality, it's you who are a victim of your own biases. And it will show you a disproportionate number of things regarding this topic. It will strengthen your bad perspective on this. There's a lot of things of that going on in society. It's not just this. Getting your biases confirmed is a very severe problem. And I wish that someone as smart as Asmongold would take this into a lot bigger consideration. It's not like he's not smart enough to get this. He simply don't care. because as with everybody else, Mr. Asmongold is a victim of wanting and needing that feel when your confirmation gets confirmed. You know what I mean? So, be skeptical, especially about the things that you agree with, because those things are by far the most dubious ones. And for the love of God, don't be arrogant about your abilities, about your skills, about your critical thinking, about your objectivity. That's so sad, simply, really. I mean, I would argue it's very typical of many smarter, younger men, especially like him. He's young compared to me. I was a lot more like him when I was younger. Very self-assured about that I was right. And even if when I was right, it was the problem that I tended to, simply look at things that agreed with my preconceptions. So anyways, a little note on how difficult it is to be objective, regardless of how smart you are. It happens to the best of us. So take care, everyone, and until the next video, have a good one.